Alright guys, so today I'm going to show you guys how I made the Polo G type beat that was just playing at the intro of this video. I'm going to drop a lot of gems on how to make these style of beats, so make sure to watch the video all the way through, as I guarantee you're going to learn something new. And in addition to that, I'm going to show you guys a little bit more of Chicago as well. So yeah, please leave a thumbs up and subscribe if you're not subscribed already, and yeah, let's get into it. So for any Polo G type beat, there's two important elements. One, the beat's either gonna have to have a guitar or a piano. And pretty much any of the beats Polo G uses, there's always one of those instruments, or oftentimes both. Like for RAPSTAR, you can hear both a piano, a guitar, and a few other instruments as well, but those are like the main focus. And so to get started, what I did was actually use this guitar sample. And the reason I like to use guitar samples versus just clicking them in with the MIDI is because it just sounds significantly better in my opinion. Now, in order to make the guitar sample sound a little bit more unique, all I did to it was I changed the pitch of it, so I pitched it down a little bit, and then in addition to that, I also slowed down the BPM. Now, in terms of effects that I use for the guitar, I just used some guitar rig, and I just used like a distortion effect. But I only had it on just slightly, as you don't want a super like grungy electric guitar. I added some RC20, and it just kind of gave it a bit more of a vintage feel. And then the other thing I did is I just played with the frequencies throughout. So for some parts of the song, I cut out some high frequencies, and then other parts of the song, I didn't cut out any of the higher frequencies, just to kind of add some variation to the guitar throughout the beat. And now here is how the guitar sounds at different parts of the beat, so I can kind of just show you what I actually mean. Here's the guitar at the intro. Next thing I added was, of course, a piano, as I mentioned earlier. Pretty much every Polo G type beat, there's usually a piano. For the piano, I just laid down some really basic chords, so here's how that sounds. Now, in terms of effects I use for the piano, one thing that I've noticed in a lot of Polo G type beats is that the piano doesn't have a ton of low end on it. So what I did here was add some RC20, and then I cut out 420 hertz of low end. So it just sounds more vintage and has a lot less depth to it. Then after this, to add some more variation, and I know I keep saying variation, but the reason why I keep saying that, and the reason why I try to add so much, is to keep the beat interesting throughout. But at the same time, for the most part, you want your variation to not totally throw the artist or the listener off. So for the variation that I added, I just try to make it all like very subtle. And so I added this pluck here, which I turned into a pad by just adding some reverb. And it's following the exact same chords as the piano. I just use it for the intro of the beat and then right before the chorus drops. After that, I added the bass line, and all I did for the bass line was I just copied the root notes from the piano chord. Out the beat, I switched between the 808 and the bass line. If you listen to the song RAPSTAR by Polo G, you'll notice that that's done a lot in the beat. And the great thing about doing that is it's a great way to do two things. One, lead into the chorus, and then two, kind of lead yourself out of the chorus. And so to kind of explain that, let me just show you what I did with this beat. So for the intro, it starts out with the bass line, and then it switches into the 808. And then it's also great on the flip side for kind of leading out of the chorus. And then after that, I just added some drums. With the drums, you just want to focus on creating like a nice consistent bounce. Doesn't have to be super complex, as an artist like Polo G has a very melodic voice, and so he's kind of gonna fill up that space, and you just kind of want to make it simple enough for him to be able to work his magic on, essentially. But now, let's get back to Chicago. Alright guys, so we are now downtown Chicago, checking out the Bean, or Clouds Gate. And yeah, this city is deceivingly huge. Like, I never realized Chicago was this big of a city until actually coming out and looking at everything. Alright, so this is the Bean. That's why we're here, out in Chicago. Look at this Bean. So this is it. It like makes everything look distorted. Like the whole city, you can see it on here, I guess, if you look closely. I wouldn't come to Chicago for the Bean, but it's definitely something to look at if you do come here. Like, no doubt. And it's really not very crowded at all. No one's here. We are at Georgiano's. Me and my little brother here, Matthew. Say what's up. Starting a channel soon, but it's not as good as mine, so don't follow him. Go ahead and check out his YouTube page when he drops it. I'll make sure to let you know. We'll probably also do some collabs. He plays guitar, so be on the lookout for that. Alright, so I guess deep dish pizzas take 40 minutes to cook, so we got some appetizers real quick. I'm talking over this music. Hopefully I don't get flagged for it. But yeah, this looks pretty good. Alright, so this pizza is probably way too big for 3 people, but you know, we're gonna see what we can do with it. Oh man.
Goddamn!
Is there cheese on this? God, I'm lactose intolerant. Oh man, it's gonna be a rough night.
I'm regretting rooming with you.
Yeah.